Okay. John.
Hello there. Hey, everybody. Sarah, Kelly, and Lisa here. We're super excited to connect with you. First of all, disclaimer, if you're still in school, we're really sorry. We just wanted to start this cohort today with that song because today's our first day of summer. We just finished school on Friday and we're excited. And this is our favorite kind of summer school, hanging out with people who just want to create HyperDocs and make awesome learning experiences for students. So we're really excited to connect with you and work with you over the next 4 weeks. So girls, do you want to say hi to everyone really quick before we get busy?
Hi y'all, I'm Lisa Highfill.
Hi guys, I'm Sarah Landis. We're super excited to spend the next 4 weeks together.
So we are the commentators today. So we're gonna be off camera, but sitting here together. We'll jump in and interrupt Kelly, but I see the live chat going on next to the video on YouTube, and then we will be answering your questions there, putting links in, and so let's let Kelly get started.
I just have to say really fast, I think we made a lot of people really jealous because they're still in school, and I do have to say last summer we had 2 less weeks of summer because they changed our calendar on us, so we are extra excited that this is our first day. But hang in there to those still in your final stretch.
Report cards, parties, hang in there. There's all that fun stuff going on. And then you will have that sense of relief and rejuvenation over your summer. So thanks for joining us, all of you. And we're really excited. I do love your new name, Lisa. What is it? Commentators? That's the new official term.
Commentators? Is that a thing? we're going to go down. I'm going to put the camera off, and then we're going to, when the camera comes back on, watch out, because we have something to say.
Yeah, for sure. So they're going to be kind of chiming in today, and I'm going to be leading today's lesson from the shared slide deck that we have linked up to the Scope and Sequence doc. And so let's just take a look here. You've already met your coaches, Kelly, Sarah, and Lisa, and we are here to just support you in the next couple of weeks, connect with you, share ideas that we might have, and bring in and learn from you as well. So it's a very collaborative class, so we're really looking forward to connecting with people from all over who are joining up. This is our largest cohort that we have had. This is our 7th time running this class. And we are thrilled to say that there's almost 100 participants in this class, which is super exciting. That means 100 amazing educators who have great ideas for creating and designing HyperDocs. So it's going to be really great to connect with everyone. So the first thing I wanted to do is talk about connecting. And from the shared slide presentation, if you want to, you can follow me to the online Scope and Sequence. A lot of you have been on there already checking out the assignments. Hopefully you watched the recording of the course orientation. This is where we will update things each week. And one important part of the Scope and Sequence is the groups down here. These are all the participants. We did the best we could to put everybody in groups of kind of job-alike groups, so that hopefully when you're connecting with your cohort, you might find somebody within your cohort that you can share ideas with. And once you come to the bottom of this doc, you can click on any one of the group names above where your name is and find the doc that has where you can go ahead and interact and interact on that doc. So I do want to say something really quick. In fact, I'm going to stop screen sharing for this one part. As we work together on those docs, if you can, please do your best to comment on the side, or if you delete something on accident, go ahead and file and undo, and then link up your work there. Whenever you link up your work to that document, make sure you change the share settings to anyone with the link can comment. That way everybody can see your work and comment on your docs. So that's one of the important pieces to communicating and collaborating in this course. But we're also doing something new. We tried this last cohort and we really liked it. We wanted to try it again with you guys. And that is using another way to collaborate, and that's through a tool called Flipgrid. So Flipgrid is noted right here, and I just wanted to give a shout out to my friend Nicole, who I just linked this up on the doc about 15 minutes ago, and she's already responded. And all you have to do when you get your Flipgrid link is do as Nicole did, which is add a response, and you can introduce yourself, tell us where you live, what your position is, and actually share with us what your goals are for this class, because that way we can interact that way beyond the doc as well. But there is one little thing I'm going to ask you to do, Nicole, and I hope you don't mind. I'm so sorry, you already recorded. I'm going to be putting a new link here on my doc, group number 3 collab doc, and Sarah and Will as well on her 2 docs, because we are going to make sure that we create a Flipgrid that has commenting features so that you guys can comment back to each other. So that will be coming after today's webinar, and you can click there and start introducing yourself on the Flipgrid. Additionally, within the group shared docs, feel free to get in there and share your ideas for a group name. Just go ahead and start putting ideas below there and having a conversation, because it's really fun to give our group a name beyond group number 3. So there we have it. So let's get talking. Those are some logistics, but let's get talking about kind of today's agenda. This is our first week studying the HyperDoc Handbook. And as you know, the book is 4 chapters, and we designed this course around the 4 chapters. And so I'm going to be talking about chapter 1 today. And chapter 1 is, really called The Ultimate Change Agent, Why We Need to Change How We Learn, and also Transformative Instruction. And one of the things I just want to bring to everyone's attention first is we realize that everyone's at different places with implementing HyperDocs. Some of you have already been creating quite a few and are really becoming experts yourself, and some are just getting started. And so we have this learning progression of the HyperDoc creator here. And I want you to think about where you think you might be right now. Are you just curious? Are you just getting started? You've heard the term, someone recommended the class, decided to try it out, and maybe you started to create some lessons. Are you already creating some and it's going pretty well, but you joined the class just to get some more ideas? Are you someone who is running with it already? You're starting to develop lessons, maybe start sharing them with colleagues? Or are you someone who's at stage 4 and you're working on basically really transforming instruction, where you're already creating units, and maybe that's why you're taking this course as well? So we just ask you to take a moment to think about where you're at personally in the learning progression of a HyperDoc creator. And then also as part of this course, just think about how we're all in different places and how we can support each other in our own progression. So the next thing we're going to do is ask you to shift from the shared slide presentation, and if you could join me on slide 5 and then click here on the shortened URL right here, and that will take you to a doc, and the doc has 2 questions. It says, where do you see yourself on the learning progression of a HyperDoc creator, and how do you hope HyperDocs will transform your classrooms? And we just want to ask you to take a moment to respond to those 2 questions on the document. There's a couple people joining us there, I can see. Really just the power of collaboration here. this also helps Sarah and Lisa and I kind of think about the people who are joining us throughout this cohort and how it can best meet your needs. So as I continue going through the slides and you're reflecting, Sarah and Lisa will join in on that doc too and respond to some of where your comments as to where you're at. And they might even be able to start giving you some tips. But I do have to say, I know you can see this on the screen. I mean, this is what it's all about. Look at all of those anonymous animals moving across the dock right now. And it's just amazing to see. There's just something about collaborating on a Google Doc and how simple that is and how powerful that is at the same time. So welcome newbies, welcome crawlers. Thanks for sharing your stories about how you've heard about HyperDocs and you know, just excited. If someone's writing curriculum, that's exciting because you have the curriculum. Maybe HyperDocs will help you meet your curriculum goals. And I'm excited to see what you guys end up responding to there. And Sarah and Lisa will continue responding there for you too. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is really step one in becoming a HyperDoc creator. And that really starts with transforming your instruction. So this is sort of our agenda. I want to talk about the foreword of the book, our aha moments we shared in the book that we all had, methods of delivery, meeting the needs of all students, and how HyperDocs are for all educators. So let's just start first with the foreword of the book. This foreword is entitled Why We Need to Change How We Learn. And it was written by high school student Jordan Moldenhauer. And she's a very special student to all of us because she is actually Lisa Highfield's niece. She graduated from high school last year before we published the book. And she's an incredible student who we had been working with her. Lisa had been sharing with her some of the lessons design that we had been working on. And she started thinking about how that would impact her own learning. And so she wrote this incredible foreword, and there's just a couple quotes that really stood out to me. Learning is an exploration of the topics that I have a passion for, am curious about, or haven't heard of yet. And I think that's a big shift in education these days. And today we're going to be talking a lot about how to create an exploration type experience for your students. That's the main focus of our discussion today, on changing that learning cycle to start with an explore. Another part of her foreword that really stands out is teach me what I need to know, but also teach me how to figure it out. The real world isn't about what's going to be on the test. The real world is a test, and we are all taking it. So wise words from a high school student sharing with us what she's looking for in a classroom. And we really think HyperDocs can help bring that into different classrooms. So HyperDocs are digital lesson plans packaged on Google Apps. And a lot of times people ask us exactly what they are. So I have this chart here to share with you because it really boils down to two things: designing them and delivering instruction on them. So when you're thinking about designing a HyperDoc, we always have this quote from our book. It says, be a designer, not an assigner. When you start creating HyperDocs, you really think beyond the assignments that you're just handing over to the kids for completion. And it becomes more of creating learning experiences. And so we want you to keep that in mind over the next 4 weeks while you're designing HyperDocs. And then how does that relate to the shift, that transformative instruction that we talk about in chapter 1? Well, when I first started teaching, I know that I didn't have really access to technology that I do now in my classroom. And when I would go to lesson plan, I would look in my curriculum, write down plans in my plan book that were usually bulleted notes on what I was going to do. I would assign things to my students. I would assess them on what I had assigned. And then what was really the extent of that for me was updating my website potentially with some engaging website links for the students to explore. Well, when Google Apps for Education came into classrooms, that really elevated. And so now when I design and assign, I really can package all of my lessons using my favorite web tools in one place. I can give the entire lesson to the students. It's almost like if some designs of HyperDocs can be considered UDL, and all the teaching and the learning is in one place for following the progression of learning. And it's really about the process. There are products, but it's really about the process. So that happens with designing. But another shift was through delivering instruction. And so when I think now about how I'm going to deliver instruction on my HyperDoc, I'm always keeping in mind, what is it that I can do now that I could not do before? And so those two quotes at the top of this chart really kind of encompass HyperDocs as well. You're designing a lesson and you're asking yourself, what can you do now that you couldn't do before? So before you might lecture, practice, and then assess. Well, now our learning cycle has shifted to ways for students to explore content. Then you might explain the content, and then you ask them to apply their learning. This week, today, we are going to focus on that first step of the learning cycle of explore. And we're going to be talking about something called multimedia text sets and using those as a strategy for starting with shifting instruction. So let's get started and take a look at some of those. So, transformative instruction, from assigner to designer. I'm going to tell you a quick story about a teacher's learning progression. I know some of you have already reflected on the doc, and I just want to share what led, one of the ahas that led to HyperDocs. So, assigner. Every year in the classroom, I used to assign the science boards as an optional activity for students to do for the science fair. It's a great project. Kids love it. I love the science fair. It's super engaging. So as I started learning about transforming my teaching, I started to get ideas about how to take the science boards and maybe have students create demos or videos. So what happened is, I assigned and asked everyone to go ahead and, if you're going to make a board, you can, but create a video that explains the demo of your lesson that you wanted to teach. So it was 2013, and I got all these really fun videos that students created, and I was able to put them in a YouTube playlist. Now, that is asking myself, what is it that I can do now that I couldn't do before? It was something new, but let's just take a look. Some of these videos clearly were done at home, and you know, there was probably, well, let's see, in this particular one, probably the parent uploaded it, not the student. And so that is great. It was great to have those in the class, but at the same time, and the students did such an incredible job. I was so impressed with what they did, and there were some benefits to that. However, I felt a little bit guilty after looking at all of their work, because I realized I had just assigned it to them. I just said, go ahead and create a video. I didn't really scaffold instruction, leading them to choosing a topic or leading them to publishing it themselves on their own YouTube channel, and as to why they might do that. So that is where the shift started to happen. So here's sort of just a parallel of what was going well, was that the students made these incredible videos, and they used the science fair guidelines to create them. And then the presentations were caught on video, and I was able to showcase them at open house and email those out to parents. So that was a positive. But what I felt like I was missing, and it wasn't the kids, it was definitely me. I didn't help them create those videos, so that, you know, I didn't know who really did the work. Secondly, the presentations took a lot of class time, And we still just had everybody stand up and deliver presentations. So I didn't really feel like I was transforming instruction where they were getting feedback from each other. And thirdly, I didn't really scaffold for the students how to get to that place to create their video. I don't feel like I really empowered them in their learning. So the following year, I shifted a little bit because I realized I had taken a really cool concept by using YouTube and creating videos, but I didn't do the solid instruction. So in walks more building in time to explore. And so this is a lesson that the following year I gave to the students before I guided them into creating the videos. And this is a multimedia text set. If you click on the links here, you can see the text set is built in a Google Doc with 2 columns. Now, the topic was physical science, and each link on that doc has will take the students to an interactive website or a video that I had curated for them. And their job was to explore and learn the content. There's flashcards on there. There's many different kinds of media, compounds and mixtures videos, flashcards, a demo of another, like another chemical reaction, science experiment, so they could have a mentor text. The idea was just explore first the content and start getting curious about what you might want to make a video on. What do you think you're going to do for the science fair? Rather than just saying, let's go to the science fair and create a video. So then the next shift that I realized was that I really needed to let the kids explore the content before I went ahead and gave them the final assignment. So this week, that's what we're going to be focusing on in our first week of our HyperDoc Online Bootcamp. We're going to be creating a multimedia text set. Now, a lot of times people ask us, what's the difference between a multimedia text set and a HyperDoc? So I'm going to focus on defining a multimedia text set for you today. And then Sarah will go into deeper into what a HyperDoc is next week. First of all, a multimedia text set is a doc with links to a variety of media on a given topic for students to consume information. And the idea is that it's before you stand and deliver the instruction, that the students are given the actual content before. They provide opportunities for exploration of a topic. They can build background knowledge and help with comprehension during lessons on a topic. They're inquiry-based, they offer choice, differentiated, they're a place to offload your lecture, and they also give you a chance to move around and confer with your students. So that's the teaching objective, and let me tell you the how moving forward with how to create these text sets and how they've been defined in that way. So here's an example of an inquiry-based multimedia text set. If you click on the link, you can follow me to this text set. And it's called the United States text set. And a lot of times teachers will need to teach a big concept like all the states of the United States. So why not create a text set and hand it to your students before you launch the unit? It gets everyone excited about what's going to be coming. So the first video here is a video of an overview of the United States. And then students made a copy of this, or you can push it out through a forced copy, or you can share it through Google Classroom. And notice that there's video, photo essays, slideshow, game, image, lyrics, music, blogs, articles, thing links. All of those words are highlighted and in bold because it's multimedia on that topic of the United States. And this activity, the objective is for students to click on the links and jot down some learning that they've learned before I teach anything about the 50 states. It's supposed to build some curiosity for the students so that when I do ask them to choose a state to study more about, or when we do other kinds of like learning about the 50 states, now they have some background knowledge and some schema on it because of this doc with the table and multimedia linked up to it. So that's the first example that I'm going to share with you today, but that would be what we would consider an inquiry-based multimedia text set. The next example that I want to share with you is a text set for integrating knowledge. Now, take a look at this one with me. It's called Each Kindness, and this is a picture book. So even if you're a secondary teacher, or if you're an administrator or a coach, I want you to imagine those themes that you need to teach to people around a topic. So, you know, you can take this pedagogy and put any content in it. The topic was the picture book, Each Kindness. The students read the book aloud with their teacher. And then after it, they were able to really begin integrating knowledge because they took the contents of the book further. So one of the Common Core standards that we talk about in reading is integrating knowledge. So they had comprehension when they read the book aloud. Then if you create a text set like this, they can go further with the book. They can reread the text if they want to hear. They can learn more about kindness because all these videos are linked up with stories about kindness. So it's sort of like a theme around integrating the knowledge of each kindness. Here's more stories, lists, ideas, quotes, articles. Notice that Sarah created this. All of these titles are telling you the different media. Images they can look at and jot down what they think about that, and poems. And so this text set really kind of took that book further. What in contrast to the 50 states text set, that was building inquiry before a unit. This was actually delivered after reading the book to take the concept farther. So that's just another strategy for delivering instruction on a multimedia text set. And again, so far what we have is a Google Doc with a table on it with a clear theme to it. There's some images and multimedia linked up and a place for people to stop and jot down the thinking, okay? Now, let's get into that jotting down the thinking a little bit. Well, we'll come back to that. So let's stop and move forward now really quickly to slide number 19. And I want to bring to your attention, one of the things we talk about in chapter 1 is flexible grouping. And I just want to share with you some Google drawings that really show how multimedia text sets as part of this shift in instruction can maximize your face time in the classroom. So the first one we're going to look at is station rotation. And if you click here where it says here, you can see a Google drawing of a classroom. Now, in this classroom, instead of desks, there are tables. So each of these black circles are tables and rectangles. And the blue dots are, imagine that those are the students, okay? And then imagine that this is not a one-to-one classroom, potentially. This might be a classroom that has 3-to-1. And we're all in different places within our implementation with technology. So here's how this station rotation model would allow for flexible grouping using a multimedia text set. Imagine in this carpet area here that the teacher is working with this small group of students. There's about 11 or 12 dots there. So imagine that's the teacher having a small group of students, and you can work on whatever you need to work on with those students during this time. Okay, then you have another group of students that are working independently at their tables on another assignment, and they're just sporadic throughout the classroom. And the third station is students that are working at the standing tech bar and working on the desktop computers or working on Chromebooks or iPads in the corner. That's the green group. They're spread out. What those students are doing is working on a multimedia text set, and now this teacher has more face time with those groups. So if you have a 50-minute class period, you can spend 15 minutes with each group of students each and every day and really have more time with them. The second way that text sets can and HyperDocs actually can maximize your face time is by taking a look at that second example here that was on that slide. So I just went from here, 2-to-1 device to here. Now this is a classroom where each of these white rectangles is potentially the device. And there's 2 students working on the device. When you take a look at this classroom, this is actually how we deliver instruction all the time when we're doing PD with multimedia text sets. So administrators who are listening, or you know, coaches who are listening, or people who are planning on taking HyperDocs back to your school sites, we really recommend first teaching people how to use the multimedia text sets as a shift in instruction. And we recommend designing your PD in the same way that is pictured here in this Google drawing. Because what's happening is there's 2 people on one device exploring the one topic. Now what happens when you're on the same device? You're going to start communicating. You're going to tell each other, oh, let's click here. Let's find out about this here. And then you're going to start having conversations about the topic. The learning gets a lot more rich when you're with a partner. If you just give everyone a multimedia text set and say explore on your own, some people do really well with that. But there's also a great benefit to doing it with a partner as well. So taking a look at those 2 classroom models is just sort of the beginning of thinking about how you might take the flexible grouping of those 2 models and shift instruction in your classroom there. Okay, so let's move ahead. We have another type of text set here that is used to demonstrate how a text set can scaffold lessons. Now this is a Google Doc, and the first thing I want to point out is the personalized URL at the bottom of the Google Doc. It says tinyurl.com/HiltonLab. This is just to differentiate. For those of you who have devices in your classroom, you may or may not see a benefit in this, but you could create the text set for students to just go back to, and you're building your lesson each time on it. And this tiny personalized URL, nobody needs Google Classroom, or you could just, they'll memorize it. You can write it easily up on the whiteboard. They'll go straight to the URL and be able to participate in the lesson. So this is a text set that is built backwards. You'll notice that the dates start here in June, and then they'll go to May, and then they'll go to April. And that's because each time students were given the opportunity to work on projects, they would just go to this text set, and directions were linked right there on there for them. So that's just another strategy. Any questions so far? How are we doing on the Google chat? Do I need to address anything, Lisa and Sarah? Oh, they're probably busy responding, so they'll let me know.
Sorry.
Okay, so, oh, that's okay.
We're good. We're answering all the questions on the side. A lot of questions. People are talking a lot. That's good. Keep posting, everyone.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, feel free to drop a question in the chat because they'll let me know and we can address it before the end of the webinar as well. Okay, so far, I just wanted to quickly recap what we've covered. And so far, we've taken a look at Google Docs with a table and links in it. And you link up current multimedia, images, infographics, videos, articles, and online games. And then so far on the second side of those Google Docs, the second column is usually like a bigger question with a lens. And that's one strategy for creating a multimedia text set. And the reason I wanted to check in there is because we're going to move into some other strategies for multimedia text sets. So slide number 22 has 2 examples of what we call the game board text set. And this template was designed by Genevieve Picada as an instructional coach in a neighboring school district to us. She shared this with us, and we always like to give her a shout out because she just kind of created this beautiful packaging of the pedagogy of a text set in another way. And so what's on here is a couple of things. Go ahead and click on with me to the PUSD game board, and it should take you here. And so this game board was used in an introductory new teacher orientation PD. And what it is it's the Google Doc using the template, and all the new teachers that were coming into our school district, we wanted to give them a place to have all of their digital content in one place and give them some time to explore all of the content. Now, if you've ever led new teacher orientation for a school district, there's so much information. It's very overwhelming. And so what we decided to do is instead of stand and talk and lecture, which is what we would have done the old way, we packaged all the content on this game board. We made sure all the teachers had Chromebooks and had their Gmail accounts. We encouraged them to bookmark this page so that they could come back to it, because you're not going to take it all in the first time. And then we gave them time to explore the text set. And that led to questions. So if somebody realized that they didn't have their ID yet for this substitute login, then the coaches were able to walk around, have some FaceTime with teachers, and help fill in the blanks. And the way that you manage the game board is once you've completed one of the activities in the square, then you use this paint bucket here and you just fill it in. And that indicates to yourself that that's like a checkbox, like, okay, great, I know how to do that. I have my ID, I have my PIN number. Teachers can write it right on there, and then they know where to go when they need a sub. So just imagine this was a way to deliver content to adults in a packaged in an engaging way. I'm just going to undo that really quick. And the second example here is the election text set. And again, you can follow me there from slide number 22. And notice that it's the same template. We use the Genevieve's game board template. But this text set was a really engaging text set for people, adults and students, to look at the electoral process, specifically before the election this past fall. And so what these amazing coaches did, Lisa Heifel and Scott Padway, who designed this text set, they went and they found all this incredible content to help people understand the electoral process. And they posed this inquiry question: is this the best way to elect our leader, right? And then the activity is work with a partner, 2 people, 1 device, explore the links, and start consuming and just learning about the process. So what naturally happens is these are such engaging articles and videos and facts that you start to see. The learner begins having conversations with their partner, processing the information, getting really curious about the topic, and wanting to know more. What's really great about this strategy for packaging a multimedia text set is that there's really no order. You can go in any order, and you can use the fill bucket in the same way that I showed you for the other one if you want to mark off that you've already explored a link. But it's not like a linear list of things to do, and you can really just get curious. And when you're done, and when you've had time in class, imagine you've had time in class, maybe a day or two, to explore the text set, to get build some schema and understanding on the topic. A teacher might link up a Padlet in the center of the game board. And this is a great tool to start collecting more questions. What do you wonder now that you've explored this text set? And you can see on this example Padlet all the incredible conversations people started having around this really timely, relevant, and up-to-date and thought-provoking content that was packaged on this game board. So this text set is another great strategy, but still considered kind of a text set because you're just consuming the information. Okay, so now another packaging option, because I've kind of talked about two packaging options for text sets: the doc with the table and the doc with the game board. I just wanted to share this one more packaging option, and this is linked on slide number 23. And so this packaging option is again a doc with the table, but notice that this text set doesn't have links. It has one content linked onto it. The objective for this text set was the Reader's Workshop objective to model close reading. It really became a close reading text set. And so in the first table, the text is pasted in the table, and it's broken up into chunks so that after that paragraph, students would stop and jot their thinking on the second part of the text. The hidden pedagogy here is the differentiation for this text set, because students were invited to add this Chrome extension, Read and Write for Google. And so what that Chrome extension does, once it's built into your Google Chrome, is it will read text aloud to you. So the teacher in this first section can model how to add the extension. Here's the video, and then here's the extension. And then use the extension to do a close reading model of listening as the text is read aloud, for the first read. Second read, highlight important words that you want a new vocabulary. So students can highlight the word and use the define feature. Tools and define will define words for students within the text set here. And so now they have the word defined, and they can copy that, and then they can use the highlighting feature to show that they're thinking for you, and then they can comment right there in the doc with the definition so that the teacher can really see visibly the work that the students are doing. And then, of course, the third read, students would record their thinking in each section. So they just stop at each paragraph and record their thinking. So in this text set, the red table is the teacher modeling all of those steps, and the yellow table is for students to go try it out on their own. So a third way of packaging text sets. Okay, and now I'm going to show you the fourth and final packaging option for text sets that you might embed into your HyperDocs, or you might teach as standalone lessons as well. And that is using this tool called ThingLink. If you've designed a ThingLink yourself or used it, I would love it if you wouldn't mind sharing it in the chat and showing people what you've created. It's quite an incredible tool as well. And it has its different benefits. So this first example is a ThingLink that was created about Africa. And when you link onto it, a ThingLink is, you can build these or you can remix ones that people have already created. And you choose an engaging image to put in the background of the ThingLink. And then you build your content right onto it using these buttons. So when the students hover over these little buttons, they get information. Sometimes the information is going to link them to another place, like that one I just clicked on. And it's going to, oh, we have fun people joining HyperDocs. Awesome. It'll take you to that video. So they might have to go to that other tab. Sometimes you can embed the video directly within ThingLink. So this, and then here you can see the slides are just embedded in. The reason I'm pointing all of this out is for those of you who teach primary grades, K1, 2, this is a really great packaging option for younger grades, because the links are embedded in here, and we're always thinking about design and delivery. And so delivering instruction on this ThingLink might help to keep your students from having to click away to different tabs. Sometimes that's a new process that they need to learn. And the second example on that slide is this ancient Greece one. This activity was built in as an extension from a HyperDoc that was created, where all the other parts of the lesson were packaged, and then this was built in as an extension. Kind of a, if you finish early, go ahead and click here to this ThingLink and explore the links. And that's another way that HyperDocs help to differentiate, because if you build in extension activities, then you can, have students working at different paces, and some will go further and just explore the links, and some that gives other students a little more time to work on whatever their activity was. Okay, so that is ThingLink. So really, I've kind of gone over before I show this slide, let me just recap again. Really, we're talking about multimedia text sets today, and how multimedia text sets are created in an effort for students to consume the information and become experts or to get curious about a topic. So they can be inquiry-based, they can be extensions, they can be used in station rotation model, they can be used in partnerships. There's all this variety. And really what I'm trying to do is just give you all these examples for shifting instruction. Now, packaging. They can be on Google Docs with a table. The table has links, and then the second column has like an inquiry question. They can be packaged on a game board where they can just link away and learn about the topic. They can be packaged with the text embedded in it, and they can be packaged on a ThingLink. So all of those are possible choices. Okay, so let's move back now to the slide deck, because where does this fit on the SAMR model? You might have noticed in our book, we have basically, are we doing okay, guys?
Yeah, we were just gonna interject so you can close your curtain if you want.
Oh, thank you.
Because we just saw that sun coming across your face, and we're taking pictures of you through our computer. But
did we do a disclaimer that I'm in a hotel room traveling today? Here's with girls teaching this class, and I'm in this hotel room in Texas today. If anybody's in Texas, shout out. Woohoo!
You're doing a great job, Kelly. We just wanted you to.
Everyone is really enjoying all the examples, and so they're gonna need to go back and rewatch and re-listen and click in and explore those examples. So,
yeah, I'm gonna interject. I know Kelly said it a few times, but these are not HyperDocs. Oh, much better, Kelly. Look, you look nice. These are not HyperDocs, but what they do is they really not only help you to shift the way you teach, it kind of teaches you to teach differently and let go of the lecture and what do you do with your time when the kids are on digital lessons, but it also gets the kids to begin learning differently. Before you throw HyperDoc at them, they're like, what's this? I don't know how to do this. I don't know what you mean by explore. So we use HyperDocs as they're almost like trainers. They are the gateway to HyperDocs. So
multimedia text sets. We use text sets.
I'm sorry, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go in.
Sure.
I'm going to go back to commenting.
Okay. All right. So as Lisa was saying, they are the trainers, and they also fit on this SAMR model, kind of between augmentation and modification, because it's definitely, and if you haven't seen the SAMR model before, it's what we use to evaluate our lesson design and technology integration. And so S stands for substitute. And am I using the technology to do what I could have done on paper? And that's sort of a beginning stages of the technology integration. And A is augmentation, where the technology acts as a direct tool for substitute with functional improvement. And M, modification, where the technology allows for significant task redesign. So multimedia text sets are kind of in between that augmentation and modification. Especially through all the different strategies that we talk about in Chapter 1 and that we're kind of reviewing on today's webinar. Okay, so here's where we're at. This week, we're going to ask you to create a multimedia text set. And here's how you do it. You can start with starting from scratch. And as Lisa said, just reiterating, these are not HyperDocs. These are just a text set. It's a tool to get you start curating information as well. So think of your packaging. Now I shared 4 different packaging options today. You can start from scratch if you have your own idea for packaging. There's more than there's more ways to package than the way I even shared it today. You can also use someone else's. You could take any of the examples I shared and you could file and make a copy. That's kind of the beauty of Google Docs. And then you can also insert your own resources or use one of our templates. So for example, here's the game board template. It takes the game board topic that, or packaging content that we had shared earlier today. And what you would do is file and make a copy to make it yourself. And then you can start designing on it. Or if you liked one of the ones that were shared earlier, like let's say you wanted to try out, can't file, make a copy of thing links. But let's say you wanted to try out this one. Let's say you really liked the way this one worked. You could just file, make a copy here, and now you have the background the same and the colors, and you can start put your own images in there. So that leads me to the next step, and that is called HyperDoc Design School. HyperDoc Design School is all about how, okay, wait a second, reverse, edit that out. It is called Multimedia Text Set Design School today. That's what we're doing. So when you go to create your own multimedia text set, we have this Google Doc Design School. So click with me on that link, and it'll take you to a forced copy. And for those of you who haven't used forced copy before, I'll just do a little quick demo slam on how to do this yourself. In the URL of the forced copy, you notice at the top, it says copy at the end. If I delete those 4 words and change it to edit, then you're gonna see the document. And that's my document for me to share. But as a teacher, I put my content on this Google Doc, and I want everyone to make their own copy of it. So I'm gonna change that back to copy, and it looks like this. So when I put this link onto this slide deck here, I used the one that had the copy words at the end. That way, everyone goes to this little tab, and I can click Make a Copy. And now, anyone who clicks on that with me has a copy of my copy. Super exciting. Okay, so Google Doc Design School. Couple things I want to make sure you know how to do in Google Docs. So if you are a pro in Google Docs, this may be something you've already seen before. But if you're new to actually designing in Google Docs, we would like to include this portion to just help some people out. So the first thing is how to insert images and how to format it. Okay, I'm gonna create a text set on fake news. This is a real hot topic that people have been talking about, and how to help students know how to find out about fake news. So first thing I'm going to do is put fake news guidelines for students in my Google search, and you can tell I had already done that before. I like to add for students because that helps me find information right away that goes to my students. And then I'm going to look for images because I want to add an image to my text set. So let's say I like this image. I'm going to select it, copy it, and then I'm going to go back to my Google Doc, and I'm going to insert my image right here by Command V. Okay, fake news. Now, I'm going to change the title here too because it's not going to be Google Doc Design School anymore. It's going to be fake news. How can you tell? That's going to be my text set for my students to explore. Now, let's say I want to change the background color of my Google Doc. So I'm going to go to File, Page Setup. This is such a fun trick because all you have to do is go to Page Color, and then you have all these colors or custom colors, and you can choose the background of your text set. So I guess I will go with light blue. Okay, there we go. Now I've changed the background color. The next thing is to format tables. So it says insert a 3x5 table below. Here's how you insert a table. There's already a table here, but we're going to insert a table within a table. You go to Tables, Insert Table, and then I'm going to go 3x5, and there you go. Now I have 3 columns and 5 rows. I can delete this. If I want to delete this column here, I would just go back to Table and delete column. Oops, undo. The best tool ever. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do Table delete row, not column. There you go. Now it's gone. Okay. From the table, press Tab and add a few more rows. When you want to add rows to your tables, you just press Tab, 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 Tab. You can keep getting rows. That's how we got that big long doc that you worked on earlier today, sharing with us about your HyperDoc progression. Okay, so I did that. I'm going to delete that row. On the Select Table Properties at the bottom of the Table tab, change the cell border and cell color. Okay, this is fun. When you select here, this is how we make different headers. You can go to Table Properties, and you can change the cell background here. So let's say I want a darker blue, and I would like my columns to be thicker, and I want to make sure my table is aligned in the center and that the text is centered also. So there you have it. Now my table's starting to form. Okay, so that's how you use the table properties. And delete that. On the top row, merge cells together. Select 2 cells, table, and merge cells, and add a title. Okay, so here, let's say I want this to be 1 cell and not all 3. I'm going to Table, Merge Cells, and now I could put directions here. Explore these links about how to identify fake news. Okay, so now I have that kind of centered. I can change the font. All of that is coming together. Now, once you have the table figured out and formatted how you want it to be, you want to start linking resources. So when I did a search over here and I went to images, now I want to go back and find good resources to give to my students. So this first one is actually from Common Sense Media. I feel pretty good about it. I would definitely preview it before I put it on my text set. And I do recommend previewing other people's content when you borrow text sets from each other or remix or make copies. And I want to just take this URL at the top. Command C is my copy, or you can go Command Edit Copy like that. Go back to my Google Doc And here's how I would like to put the links in. I might say, watch this video to learn 5 ways to identify fake news. Okay, now, here's how we get our words linked. You select the word that you would like to be the link, and you click here on Insert Link, and you Command V, paste. And then when it turns blue with the underline under it, you know that that will link to that website. Some design tips that are kind of fun is maybe just making that word a different font, and that way students will know. And this is, again, like Lisa said, multimedia text sets get students ready for learning on HyperDocs. And so these are all little technical skills that they're going to need to know when they're working on a HyperDoc. So here we go. My text set is coming together. So the last couple of things is I showed you how to link resources, how to find resources, type the words. The last one says click an image in the same way, just select the image and paste the URL. So if you wanted to do another image, you could also search within Google Docs. And you can upload, or you can search here. And what's nice about these images is they are all Creative Commons images. So whatever you choose there will just go straight into your doc as well. Okay. One more thing about images, you can move them around by selecting them there. You can make them wrap around text if you needed to. If you lose it, just undo. You can center them. You can move them around. Okay, so this text set is not done, but it's just sort of a practice to get started for Google Doc Design School. And when you're ready to share this text set with your classmates on the Google Doc or with your students, you just need to change the share settings to anyone with the link can view. Or if you want people to be able to edit on it, you can change it to anyone with the link can edit, and then you select that link and share it back, okay? I did have a completed one already. Here's my fake news one that I recently designed for Multimedia Text Set PD, and it's just, again, showing the table format and docs. And one little added bonus is this was just an aha moment for teaching that happened. A teacher that I worked with used this strategy this year where he used a text set on Monday and Tuesday to shift instruction. We created one together on the Civil War. He gave it to his students. They worked in partners and they explored the text set for Monday and Tuesday and started collecting to learn what they know about the Civil War. Then we had a Socratic seminar, which is a different strategy to discuss questions in a classroom on Thursday or Wednesday and Thursday. On Friday, he gave a quiz and he said, wow, they've never learned the content so well. So that was a really powerful learning opportunity for his students. So that completed text set is linked there on slide number 29. And if you are wanting to learn more about some stories of transforming instruction, we do have this list of HyperDoc experts who we interviewed, and this is from our website. And they're about 15, 20-minute interviews where on these episodes, these teachers share their HyperDocs, and then they share exactly how they've taught them. So again, these are actual HyperDocs. They're not text sets. But if you're just curious and want to see, or if you notice, oh, hey, I know her on Twitter, I might want to watch that episode. Or you are a 4th grade teacher, you definitely want to watch this episode here. Or if you're a social studies teacher, watch this episode, because that'll give you some more ideas about designing and creating for yourself. So that resource is there. So wrapping it up for this week, if you haven't done so already, please read chapter 1 of the book. And hey, it might have been helpful to watch this before chapter 1, because now as you're reading it, you might be able to take some notes and make some connections to what I talked about today. And then what we're also going to ask you to do is complete this HyperDoc. We have a HyperDoc for each week as homework. So you will make a copy of this yourself and share it back. But basically, this takes you through explore, explain, apply. And so we have more text sets here. Jot your own thinking down. Then we ask you to explain about yourself. How will delivering instruction using this pedagogy shift instruction, how can you use these strategies to meet the needs of all students, and then respond with what your role is here. And this is just a fun little design tip. When you get to this question, it says, click on the image below. It's an embedded Google Draw image. In the drawing, complete the task. So you circle the group that defines you. So if you click twice, it's going to take you into an embedded Google Draw, and then you can find the shape, and you can put a shape around your role as a teacher. And that chart is in our book too, if it's too small and it's hard to see. And then go ahead and create your own text set. The templates are also linked there. This is an incredible resource that Lisa created. It's a YouTube playlist of kind of going through what I just talked about in design school. So if you want to have it recorded and go back, you can go back and watch some of those videos if you have questions on how to do that. And then share it. And then please reflect here at the end, because we're all about reflecting on the learning, and share one word to describe this HyperDoc experience. Somebody has already responded. That is a really great word. I love that description. Illuminating. So that'll be fun to watch that answer garden grow. So at the end of the time, by next Monday, if you could share your Google Doc and your text set, and then turn in your assignments to your group. And again, if you're not sure where your groups are located, they're at the bottom of the scope and sequence. So you'll find your group name and link it on there. And that was already described on the orientation video, or reach out to any of us and we'll help you out. Anyone with the link can comment, and really make sure you interact and give feedback to each other, because this is a really large cohort and we are super excited. But it's just better together. So we'll do our best to respond to everyone. But if you have an answer, please respond to your classmates. And Sarah and I will make sure we get those our flip grids posted pretty soon, but at least before tomorrow, so that everyone can start introducing themselves on Flipgrid as well, and we can interact in that way. So there we have it.
No, that was
nice.
Awesome,
Kelly. Deep breath, right? You made it.
I feel like I'm talking a lot.
So good. We were silently talking.
My fingers. I was typing the whole time. You guys, great questions, great comments. And you know what? People are sharing already. And I think that is the key to this class. Like we said, we're so excited. We've never had a group this big. So we're going to count on you even more to reach out and connect with people. I think our goal really is to have you connect beyond these 4 weeks. You know, as you're looking for classrooms to connect to and collaborate with across the globe, what a great opportunity. You're all learning the same thing at the same time. So get some lessons set up, ready to go, so you can do some out of the state, out of the country collaboration. Could be really awesome.
And honestly, we did our best to group you guys by job alike. But of course, like, we really encourage you to go into the other groups, go into the other cohort or the other collaboration group docs and see what other people are working on, talk to them. Feel free to stay within your own group and also branch out. Like, you have that flexibility. All of the group docs are linked onto our master scope and sequence doc. So it's just all housed there. We're gonna post a transcript from tonight, so you can kind of go back and read the comments of others if you'd like. So anytime you're stuck and you wanna go deeper, learn more, rewatch something, reread something, you have access to it there. So.
Awesome. How many people were on today, you think, live with us?
About 40 the whole time. So about half right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Awesome. I know it's hard. It's summer, and many of you are still working and, you know, juggling a bunch of different things. So we appreciate those to make it to chat with us live.
Great. Thank you. I almost dropped my computer. Sorry, it's sliding off of my stuff.
Jessica wants to come and hunt you down in Texas.
Yes, Jessica is in the same town as you right now.
There's
Oh, I'm going to dinner.
she's coming next week.
Tell me where to go to dinner, Jessica. I don't even know where to go.
Yeah, just message her. All right.
That's so cool.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.